Have you ever found yourself in this situation? It's the end of a long workday. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, planning to scroll through TikTok or watch a little Netflix, just for a few minutes. Then you blink, and suddenly it's past 11 p.m. 2 whole hours disappeared. And you didn't even notice. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't do anything meaningful. And in the end, all you're left with is that familiar mix of regret and frustration because you let another evening slip away. But here's the thing. You're not lazy. You're just caught in something almost all of us fall into. A soft escape from responsibility. Something I call micro-time killing. And if you let just 2 hours slip away like that every day, that's 60 hours a month, gone. Which means you're basically throwing away an entire full-time workweek every single month, just scrolling with your thumb. Kinda stings, doesn't it? But this isn't about blaming you. It's about helping you realize that you're holding a massive asset, and most people don't even recognize it. That asset is your free time. Time is invisible capital. Everyone gets the exact same 24 hours a day. Some people invest it wisely. Others let it disappear swipe by swipe. Some people take just 30 minutes of that throwaway time to build a new skill. They stay consistent, and months later, they've created an extra income stream. Meanwhile, a coworker sitting right beside them, same job, same hours, same salary, is still complaining about not having enough money or enough time. And feeling like life never changes. I have a friend who works a regular office job, probably just like many of you watching this. At first, her evenings disappeared into YouTube, shows, and social scrolling. But one day, she decided to spend just 30 minutes a night learning how to write content for social media. Just 30 minutes. 4 months later, she landed her first freelance gig. 6 months later, her side income was already hitting $400 to $600 per month, on top of her regular job, which stayed exactly the same. That proves something incredibly important. The difference isn't how much time you have. It's how you use it. Most people aren't lacking capital, connections, or opportunities. They're simply ignoring the gold mine sitting right in their pocket. Those little pockets of free time that feel worthless but could change their entire financial life. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 5 practical ways to turn your free time into real money, even if you're not tech savvy. Even if you don't have any special skills. And even if you're starting with zero investment. Everything I'm about to share has been tested. Real strategies you can start with nothing more than your phone. A small window of free time each night. And a bit of consistency. And at the end of this video, I'll reveal the exact strategy I've personally used for the past 2 years. One that helped me turn just 1 free hour every evening into a stable, long-term income stream, even after I stopped actively working on it. If you've ever felt like life is moving too fast, or if you've ever looked back at your day and realized you didn't move any closer to the life you want, then this video is for you. So let's dive in and start mining the gold in your free time. Part 1. Understanding the value of invisible capital, your time. Have you ever noticed something? There's one resource every single person on this planet receives for free, regardless of wealth, education, gender, or background. 24 hours, every day. Sounds simple, but the way each person uses that same 24-hour window creates results that are unbelievably different. Some people spend their entire 24 hours working, going home, eating dinner, and then scrolling for 3 hours straight. Others use the same 24 hours, but carve out 30 minutes in the morning to read, an hour at night to build a new skill, and one day they suddenly become a freelancer earning an extra $1 a month. The difference starts with something incredibly small: how they use their free time. We all talk about money as an asset, but we forget that time is the most valuable asset of all. And it's the one most people waste without realizing it. Lose money, you can earn it back. Lose time, you'll never get a refund. There's no rewind button, no cash back policy. And here's the strange part: everyone has the same amount of time, but the results couldn't be more different. Smart people treat each free minute like $1 of capital. Use it wisely and it multiplies. Ignore it and it evaporates quietly. And over time, those tiny silent minutes turn into a massive gap between you and the people who learned to invest their hours. Research shows that young adults in Vietnam spend 2 to 3 hours a day just scrolling social media. And honestly, that's not even unusual. Everyone needs entertainment. The real issue is this: most of that scrolling is mindless. You pick up your phone, just for a minute, and somehow an hour disappears. And the funny thing is, you don't even remember what you watched, what you learned, or what you got out of it. Except maybe a dancing cat or some random meme. Social media isn't the enemy. The problem is using it without intention. Many people say, "I don't have time to learn. I don't have time to build a side income. I don't have time to improve myself." But they do have the time. They're just spending it without noticing. Read just 10 pages a day. 30 minutes tops. In 1 year, that's over 3.600 pages, 10 to 12 solid books. Spend 1 hour building a skill: design, writing, video editing, coding, a new language. And after a year you'll have more skills and more opportunities than you thought possible. Free time is like spare change, tiny, scattered, and easy to ignore. But collect enough of it, and it becomes investment capital. 15 minutes in the morning. 20 minutes waiting for the bus. 30 minutes after dinner. That's already an extra hour a day. Over 30 hours a month. Which is literally an extra work week you didn't even know you had. Most people think they can't be that disciplined. And that's fair. No one expects you to become superhuman. You can still rest. You can still relax. You can still enjoy your shows. But if you split off just 30 minutes of your daily free time and invest it into yourself, after a year, you'll be shocked at how far you've come. Small steps, done consistently, build the strongest foundation. 1 brick a day becomes a wall. And that wall might become the foundation for financial freedom and time freedom, something money alone can't buy. Today you might only have a few free minutes. But used correctly, those minutes are the seeds of a thriving future. A garden you plant with consistency, water with discipline, and harvest with your own growth. You don't need more time than others. You just need to use your time slightly better. And over the years, those tiny differences compound into a massive gap between simply surviving and building a life with real meaning. Part 2. The 30-minute difference. Real stories. Most people think changing their life requires something big. A big investment. A big opportunity. A big connection. But the truth? Your future is being shaped by something tiny. So small you don't even notice it. 30 minutes a day. Let me tell you 2 real stories. Story 1. The Time Drainer. There's a guy named Sang who works in a steel manufacturing plant. Every evening after work, he unwinds by watching movie reviews. Not 1 or 2 videos, sometimes 3 or 4 hours of clips. Reactions, breakdowns, TikTok scrolls. Every night, he kept telling himself, just a little to relax. I'll be productive tomorrow. But tomorrow looked exactly like yesterday. And after a full year? Same salary. Same life. Same routine. Nothing changed. Story 2. The Time Investor. Then there's Dong, another full-time worker in a different city. Instead of scrolling for hours, he carved out 30 minutes to 1 hour every night to learn Python coding on YouTube for free. He didn't rush. He didn't force himself. Just steady, daily progress. After 3 months, he could write simple scripts. After 6 months, he built small tools that improved his job. After 12 months, he received a remote work offer from a foreign tech company specializing in AI. Doubling his income. Without leaving his old job. Without sacrificing evenings. Just by reusing the same block of time he used to waste scrolling. 2 people. 2 routines. 2 uses of the same free hours. Same work schedule. Same starting point. But only one treated time as capital. See the pattern? You don't lack time. You don't lack money. You don't lack connections. You might just be missing one small decision. Starting today, put 30 minutes into something that builds your future instead of entertaining your present. Free time is a gold mine. But gold doesn't jump out of the ground on its own. You have to dig for it. Part 3. 5 ways to turn your free time into income. People often think earning extra money means quitting your job, starting a company, or investing thousands. But in reality, there are many ways to turn just 30 to 60 minutes of free time each day into a steady side income, without making any huge life changes. Here are 5 practical, beginner-friendly ways anyone can start, especially if you want to actually monetize your free time. 1. Freelancing, flexible work, active income. Freelancing is perfect if you have basic skills. Writing, translation, design, video editing, or even just managing social media. No fancy setup needed. Just a phone or laptop and the willingness to learn. For example, a student from Ha Tin managed a fashion TikTok shop for 3 to 5 million VND per month, around $120 to $200, in her free time, creating content, posting videos, replying to comments, tracking analytics. The beauty of freelancing is choice. You choose the jobs, the hours, the workload. Just avoid 2 beginner mistakes. accepting too many jobs at once, underpricing out of fear. Build credibility first, income follows naturally. 2. Online selling, low cost, high potential. You don't need a storefront or warehouse. Platforms like Shopee, TikTok Shop, and Facebook Marketplace are the new digital marketplaces anyone can join. A mom I know started streaming at night to sell kids' clothing. She began with just a few products. After 3 months, she hired help. After 6 months, her online income doubled her previous office job salary. But online selling has risks. Overstocking, picking the wrong products, scaling too fast. Start with products you love or understand. Test the market before investing heavily. 3. Content creation. Work once, earn long-term. If you can tell a story, speak clearly, write well, or simply share valuable ideas, this is a powerful option. Blogging, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Pinterest, or running a niche website. All of these turn your free time into digital assets that pay you repeatedly. Take Thuong, a Vietnamese worker in Japan. Every night, she spent 2 hours writing recipes and posting beautifully photographed dishes on Pinterest in English. At first, only a few people saw them. But traffic grew, then exploded. Today her website attracts millions of visitors worldwide, earning steady ad revenue. Content creation isn't always easy. It takes consistency, niche understanding, and creativity. But in return, you're building an asset that can work for you even while you're asleep. 4th. Small, consistent investing. Learning while you grow your money. A lot of people skip this step because they think investing requires a large amount of capital. But the truth is, you can absolutely start with as little as $20 to $40 a month through options like ETFs, small cap stocks, corporate bonds, or even government bonds you can buy online. A young friend of mine invests about $80 a month into a stable ETF. After 2 years, he not only built up a solid savings cushion and earned a decent return, but he also learned how to track his finances and developed discipline along the way. Of course, investing comes with traps. Beginners often get discouraged because their gains look small or they panic and withdraw early when something unexpected happens. My advice: treat it like a smarter version of saving money. Don't expect to get rich quickly, and always invest with money you can afford to set aside. 5th. Teach a skill or share knowledge. Make money from what you already know. You don't need to be a university professor to teach someone. You just need to be a bit more experienced than the person you're helping and know how to explain things clearly. If you know a foreign language, you can teach basic grammar. If you play an instrument, you can teach beginners. If you're good with office software, you can teach basic Excel via Zoom. A friend of mine is an engineer by day and teaches guitar online at night through Google Meet. With just 4 to 5 sessions a week, earning an extra $200 to $400 per month is totally achievable, without flashy advertising. Teaching not only earns you extra income but also strengthens your own skills and builds personal credibility. Later, you can turn it into online courses, eBooks, or even a larger coaching group. Each of these options has pros and cons. But the common thread is this: you don't need to quit your job. You don't need big capital. And you don't need a lot of time. With just 30 to 60 minutes a day, you can plant the first seeds of a new, sustainable income stream that fits naturally into your life. Part 4. Build systems and apply the 1% rule. Here's a small secret most people overlook. To improve yourself, you don't need to make dramatic changes. You don't have to rewrite your entire life overnight. You just need to be a little better than yesterday, even just 1%. It sounds insignificant, almost too small to care about. But if you improve 1% every day, after a year, you'll be 37 times better than you are today. That's the power of accumulation, compound interest. But for your personal growth. For example, today you learn 10 English words. Tomorrow you learn 11. The next day you learn 12. Repeat that for a month, and your vocabulary doubles, and your memory sharpens naturally. No pressure, no burnout, just steady progress. That's the 1% rule. To make this work, you need a light but reliable system, not the "do it whenever I feel like it" approach. Our brains love procrastination and excuses. So without structure, we fall into the cycle of doing a lot for a few days and then quitting. So start designing your free time the same way you would schedule an important meeting. Your life won't change if your free time stays random. A simple, free tool is Google Calendar. Don't use it only for birthdays. Use it to schedule time for yourself. For example, 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Learn content writing. Repeat it every day. When you see the blue block on your calendar, you naturally feel responsible to show up. Pair this with a to-do list to prevent overwhelm. Write down everything, even tiny tasks like sending an email or doing a 10-minute yoga stretch. Crossing an item off a list gives your brain a small dopamine hit that motivates you to keep going. If you like clean layouts, use Notion. You don't need complicated setups, just a basic 2-column layout. What to do today? And done yet? Every checked box is a small victory. Regardless of the tools you use, the key is to break your free time into 30-minute blocks. Each block dedicated to only one task. Don't multitask. No switching between learning and scrolling on your phone. Science has shown the brain isn't good at multitasking, it just switches quickly. And that switching tires you out and kills focus. Treat each 30-minute block like a mini work shift. 7:30 to 8 a.m. Watch an online lecture. 8 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. Write a TikTok script. 9 o'clock to 9:30 p.m. Read a finance book. When the block ends, take a 5-minute break, walk around, drink water, then continue. You'll get far more done than spending hours working while half distracted. What if you're tired and can't follow the schedule? That's okay. Discipline doesn't mean never tired. What matters is consistency, even if you do less. If you can't study 30 minutes, do 10. If you can't write 500 words, write 50. You're not competing with anyone. You just need to not quit, and that alone puts you ahead of 90% of people. When you build your own system, you stop drifting with other people's schedules. No more ending your day feeling like you achieved nothing. You begin to feel control, first over your time, then over your life. The 1% rule isn't flashy. It doesn't create miracles overnight, but it can turn you into a completely different person in a year. All it takes is one small block, one small goal, and one big promise to yourself: don't quit. Part 5. Building habits and why 90% of people quit. Even with a clear schedule, well-designed time blocks, and tools like Google Calendar or Notion, there will be days you want to give up. This isn't your fault. It's a natural part of building habits. At first, when motivation is high, everything feels easy. You're excited to open your laptop, start learning, write something new, or work on your first project. Each step feels like progress. But after a few weeks, that excitement fades. Work gets exhausting. Friends invite you out. Your phone keeps buzzing with entertainment apps. Slowly, your learning gets interrupted. Your writing stops, and you start thinking, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. This is why most people quit before habits have time to produce results. Not because they're lazy, but because they expect too much in too little time, and judge themselves too harshly when progress isn't instant. The solution isn't fake optimism or forcing yourself harder. It's making things smaller and more realistic. If you want to learn a new skill, don't aim for 2 hours a day. Start with 15 minutes. And if you're tired, playing a few minutes of a lesson or listening passively still counts. Keeping the promise to yourself matters far more than doing a huge task and quitting halfway. Another simple trick: attach a new habit to an existing one. If you always drink coffee in the morning, watch a short learning video during your coffee. If you scroll your phone at night, switch to a useful podcast instead. At first it feels awkward, but after a few weeks, the new habit blends into your daily routine more naturally than you expect. And don't underestimate the power of having someone to grow with. A partner who learns, writes, or creates content along with you can keep your habits going more effectively than any self-help book. When someone checks in on your progress, you instantly have a reason not to quit. 3 friends I know started a 30-day writing challenge together. Each person wrote 1 article per week and shared it with the others. No one was perfect, but because they had each other, they kept going for 6 months. By then, each person had written more than 20 pieces, something they all thought was impossible before. You also need to adjust your expectations. Many people quit because they think, if I'm doing content, I need 10,000 followers in a month. If I'm learning coaching, I must get a job in 3 months. If I'm selling online, I need orders in the second week. But real results rarely come quickly, especially worthwhile ones. So if you're starting something new, allow yourself to move slowly, as long as you don't stop. If today you do 15 minutes, that's great. Tomorrow you do another 15, still great. If you're tired, rest, but don't let resting become quitting. Building habits isn't a sprint. It's a long hike. The one who reaches the top isn't the fastest, it's the one who keeps a steady pace. Part 6. The secret strategy: content assets. Once you've built solid habits and learned how to use small blocks of time throughout your day, this is the moment to take things to the next level: turning your free time into something that works for you even while you sleep. It sounds like a dream, but it's entirely real. This is called building content assets. The concept is simple. You create a piece of content, a product, or a post once, and it continues to generate value for you over time. It could bring views, downloads, purchases, or simply trust from others. It could be a video, podcast, ebook, online course, or instructional file. Anything that provides information or inspiration that people need. Take the story of Hong, a finance student. While her classmates scrolled social media or caught up on sleep after classes, Hong used her free time every day to compile her personal experiences on managing money. She turned it into a small ebook, sharing tips on budgeting her salary, managing student expenses, and small monthly savings tricks. After 1 year, Hong not only completed her first ebook but sold over 2,000 copies. Each priced modestly. The income was enough to cover her tuition and save a little extra. Or consider Thuong, a factory worker in Japan we mentioned earlier. Outside work, she loved cooking and began taking photos of her dishes, posting them on Pinterest. Initially, it was just for fun, but her posts eventually attracted millions of views from around the world. This led her to start TikTok and YouTube channels focused on food. Today, Thuong isn't just a factory worker, she's a recognized creator with her own brand. Earning through ads, sponsorships, and exclusive recipes. These stories aren't far-fetched. They didn't start with professional equipment or full expertise. They started with sharing honestly what they knew and gradually building a sustainable asset. How to get started. Choose a topic you can consistently share about. It doesn't have to be what you're best at, but should be something you have experience in or genuinely care about. Personal finance, study tips, learning English, skincare, or pet care, it doesn't matter. The key is that you can talk about it weekly without losing interest. Start creating short content every day. A 1-minute TikTok, a quick Instagram story with tips, a Facebook post sharing personal experiences, or LinkedIn PowerPoint slide. Consistency matters more than perfection. Repurpose your content. Don't think every platform needs a completely new post. A long YouTube video can be split into 3 to 5 short clips. A blog can become a podcast. A series of Facebook posts can be turned into an ebook. Treat content like raw dough. How many cakes you make depends on your creativity. Build a community. Content isn't just about views, it's about connection. This could be a small Facebook group, an email list, or a Zalo broadcast channel. Having your own community means you're not at the mercy of algorithms. You can test ideas, gather feedback, and most importantly, have real people who care about your work. Content assets aren't a get-rich-quick strategy, but they are the smartest, most sustainable way to turn seemingly small free moments into the foundation of a long-term career. You create once, and if done right, it can bring value for years. Part 7. Reinvest and scale your system. Once you start generating side income from freelancing, sales, teaching, or content creation, the question shouldn't be, what should I buy to reward myself? But, how can I grow this money steadily and sustainably? This is where many people get complacent. They see a small steady income and think, I'm set now. Some spend it all on shopping, new gadgets, or trips. Others save it in a bank account and leave it there. Both aren't wrong, but if you stop there, your side income remains small, fragile, or just a single, well, in a drought. To grow your system, you need reinvestment. This doesn't need to be complex or corporate. Reinvest 30 to 50% of the profits back into the activity that generated it. For example, if you're creating TikTok videos on an old phone with low-quality audio, once your channel brings in steady income, invest in a better microphone, a lighting kit, or a tripod. You'll see content quality improve, which leads to more views, engagement, and even sales. If you lack editing skills or time, consider hiring a part-time editor. It frees you to focus on idea creation, which is your real strength. Reinvestment isn't just about hardware, it's also about skills and mindset. Use part of your profits to take online courses on marketing, storytelling, video production, design, or presentation. These skills directly improve your content and services, increasing the value you create. Once you gain more knowledge and tools, the next step is scaling. For instance, your TikTok content can be repurposed for YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or Threads. You don't need to master every platform. Just tweak your original content slightly to fit each platform. Creating multiple wells instead of digging a new one from scratch. Relying on only one well, like TikTok or Shopee, is risky. If the algorithm changes or engagement drops, your income suffers. Having multiple platforms, website, email list, Instagram, Zalo, ensures stability and growth. Professional content creators stress multi-platform presence and building assets you control, like email lists or your community. In the beginning, focus on doing well on one channel, then repurpose, reinvest, and expand. Slowly but surely, you enter a growth cycle. Create content, right pointing arrow, earn right pointing arrow, reinvest right pointing arrow, increase quality right pointing arrow, expand right pointing arrow, reinvest again. You don't need a huge team or budget. Just dedicate part of your income to grow your work rather than spending or hoarding it. Money that doesn't transform into quality, skills, or influence remains idle. When invested wisely, it becomes a tool to dig deeper into your own gold mine. Part 8. Influence and personal brand. At some point, if you persist in sharing value, working seriously on your craft, and using your free time wisely, something remarkable happens. You're no longer just someone earning extra income. You become an influencer in your field. This doesn't come from a single viral moment or dramatic breakthrough. It happens naturally, quietly, like walking every day and realizing you've covered a lot of ground without noticing. When people start recognizing you for what you share, asking for guidance, collaborating, or inviting you to speak or sponsor events, your personal brand begins to take shape. A personal brand isn't a logo, color palette, or slogan. It's the perception people have of you. They trust your honesty, your expertise, your willingness to share useful insights, and your reliability. Take the story of how a content creator in Ho Chi Minh City. He began with small Zoom workshops teaching people how to create AI animations, a niche New field. At first, only a few attended, out of curiosity or trust in his practical approach. He didn't promise wealth or flaunt numbers, but he persistently shared knowledge, updated tutorials, posted free videos, and wrote on Facebook. After 6 months, his following grew significantly. People sought him out for advice, and organizers invited him as a guest speaker. Today, Hao isn't just an AI freelancer, he's a coal in digital education. With collaborations, consulting opportunities, and his own courses. The beauty? Hao didn't set out to build a personal brand as a primary goal. He simply did one thing well: shared his journey honestly, and let time and consistency build his credibility. That's the key to a sustainable personal brand. Tie it to real value. Not just the image you try to project. Many chase attention with ads, trendy videos, or controversial statements. They may get short-term fame, but if there's no real value behind it, their brand fades quickly. In contrast, when you give sincerely, share from real experience, and admit your mistakes, people remember you. Even just 10 people who truly learn from and trust you are enough to lay the foundation of an influential personal brand. Of course, building a personal brand isn't about becoming famous, it's about amplifying the impact of the work you're already doing well. With a strong brand, you gain more opportunities, collaborations, workshops, selling digital products, or simply finding like-minded people to accompany you on your journey. The beauty of a personal brand is that it increases the value of everything you do. The same product will command a higher price if it comes from someone trustworthy. The same class will deliver better results if students already trust you. In simple terms, a personal brand is an invisible leverage. The more consistently you build it, the less effort it takes later. And you don't need hundreds of thousands of followers to start. You just need to share consistently about what you are truly living and experiencing. And let time do the rest. We've gone through a journey that may seem modest, but it's enough for you to notice something small yet powerful in life: your free time. It's something you have every day, often let slip away without a second thought. Now, you can see it clearly. Your free time is actually a forgotten goldmine. It may not glitter, but its potential is enormous if you know how to use it. The 5 ways to earn from free time I shared are just the starting point. They're like different doors opening depending on your skills, interests, and circumstances. Freelancing, teaching, creating content. There's a path for everyone. But if you want to go far and sustain your progress, building content assets is the most important long-term strategy. One effort, multiple returns, not just earning money, but creating lasting value that can sustain and support you in the future. All of this may sound big, but it starts with tiny actions. 1 free minute, a 30-minute block in the morning, a single social media post, a trial clip on TikTok. Don't underestimate small steps. Every minute spent wisely is a brick in the house of your financial and personal growth. Today one brick, tomorrow another. In a year, you'll look back in amazement at the house you've built with your own hands. If you've read this far, I don't think you're just skimming. Somewhere inside, you may already be thinking more seriously about how to use your time. If so, take one simple but powerful step. Write down your free time today. Don't overthink it. Just list the empty blocks you normally spend on unclear or unproductive activities. Then, pick one small action to start immediately. It could be creating a freelance account, watching a skill-building video, or simply writing a few lines of reflection on social media about your day. What matters isn't what you choose, it's that you choose something and start. Because the future you're seeking isn't somewhere far away. It doesn't come from a sudden stroke of luck or someone swooping in to rescue you from the monotony of daily life. It lies right in the free minutes you have today. You decide whether to let them slip by or use them to lay the foundation for financial freedom. The power of choice is always in your hands. And I truly believe that if you start today, even with a single small step, you will become one of the few people who no longer say, "I wish I had more time," because you've learned to turn every free minute into real value.